Hello, Arrow. This is Tyler. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can, Tyler. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me on, man. I appreciate it.
Well, this has got to be your Super Bowl as well. I mean, you've been prepping for this all dang year.
That's right. It's the biggest event in American pop culture, so the biggest event in gambling, and $23.1 billion, I think, is what Forbes is estimating is going to be wagered on the Super Bowl. So significance, definitely, to say the least.
And it's going to be bigger in so many different areas of the country because a lot of states have now made online gambling legal. And I just can't wait to watch how that's going to play out.
Yeah, it's now 38 states, the District of Columbia and Puerto Rico, that have legalized online gambling. So more people than ever from coast to coast have access to wagering on not just football, but basketball, soccer, hockey, golf, NASCAR, etc., mixed martial arts, from the comforts of their own home, right on their couch. They can get out their phone, get out their laptop, go to ESPNBet.com and use sign-up bonuses, make wagers, set up parlays, and add some engagement and value to their entertainment. That is watching sports in America.
What I love about the Super Bowl is that people will bet on anything. Everything from how many times are we going to see Taylor Swift to, oh my God, are we going to see another helmet get a big old hole knocked in it?
Yeah, rest assured, if you can think of something to bet on, there's probably somewhere in the world that you can do it. And if you want to bet on Russian table tennis, you can do that somewhere. If you want to bet on Highlight, you can do that somewhere. And if you want to bet on the color of Gatorade that is poured on the winning head coach, you can do that. If you want to bet on the over-under in minutes and seconds of the national anthem from first note to last note, you can bet on the coin toss. Will it be heads? Will it be tails? So there is, and then of course you can bet on how many rushing yards Christian McCaffrey will have, how many passing yards Patrick Mahomes have, how many touchdowns, etc. All those. So there is thousands of ways to bet the Super Bowl, depending on where you're at in the world.
Yeah, I know it's the 49ers that are in the Super Bowl, but I'm going to tell you what, we here in Carolina think it's our Super Bowl because two of our guys are on that team, and that's Christian and it's also Steve Wilkes. And man, I cannot wait to see my team win that dang thing.
Yeah, they're the favorite, too. Christian McCaffrey, Steve Wilkes, and the 49ers are the favorite, which I think a lot of people in the public are going, how is that? Have you seen Patrick Mahomes? He's won 2 Super Bowls. He's been to 4. He just went to Baltimore and won. He went to Buffalo and won. The guy is, maybe the GOAT quarterback of all time. Yes. And now he's got a great defense behind him. But that's the public. The sports books and the sharp bettors, they don't care what the public thinks. They go strictly by the numbers. And they have used 20 weeks of game data to determine that the better football team, if you simulate this game 1,000 times, is the San Francisco 49ers. They would win 515 of those 1,000 simulations. Wow. Now, of course, we're only getting one game. It's a do or die here in one game. And I think a lot of people are going to lean on Mahomes' experience versus your boys that are objectively an awesome and talented team. I personally, call me Joe Public, call me a square, I'm going to bet my money on Patrick Mahomes since he's done it before. But would I be shocked at all if Christian McCaffrey leads the 49ers to a victory? Absolutely not. CMC is as good as it gets.
One of the things I've always loved about listening to you and is the way that you keep in touch with everybody. You educate us about betting. And so I'm always afraid that, during the Super Bowl, there's a lot of newbies and virgins that are coming to this game that are going to dump a bunch of money into it, and they have no idea. And that's why they got to stay connected to you because you set us straight.
Yeah, I think that's a great point to make is you need to look at gambling as an entertainment cost.
Yeah.
Only gamble what you can lose. Look at it like going out to a nice expensive dinner or going out to a football game. If you can't afford to go to a football game, you're going to stay at home and watch. And if you can't afford to make $1,000 bets, you shouldn't do that. Only bet $5, $10. That if you lose, it's not going to hurt you. If you win, great. That's gravy on the taters. That's icing on the cake. So the first thing is just make sure you're being responsible. And then if you don't know a lot about the game of football, have fun. Make some bets based on your favorite player, or your favorite team. But again, look at it as just a way to add engagement value with watching what you're watching.
There was such a huge conspiracy theory based on the NFL this year, and I'm wondering how it's going to affect what it is that you do, where they say the NFL is scripting out these games. And it's like, in my entire life, I've never heard of anything like that. Why are they doing this?
Well, I mean, there's It's the internet in 2024, Arrow. There's a conspiracy for everything, and now football is not even exempt from it. I think it's, people who don't see the outcomes that they want and desire. That's a way to explain away the fact that what they wanted and desired didn't happen. But football's. Try telling that to a football player that it's scripted. Try telling that to a man who has spent 20 years of his life, blood, sweat, and tears, grinding to make it to this moment that is a pinnacle for every athlete to go down in history as a Super Bowl champion. Try and tell them that it's scripted and see where you get with that.
Your dedication, your loyalty, and compassion for all people that play these games. But the thing I always wonder, do you love it when you're right, or do you love that little shock in your body when you get it wrong?
A lot of athletes will say I hate losing more than I love winning. And maybe that's why I'm not an athlete and I just talk about athletes on TV. But I really like winning a lot more than I hate losing. When I get a bet right, feels good to be able to brag about that to friends, to my viewers. And, of course, when someone tails me and says, hey, I'm taking this bet because you offered it or you advised it and it wins, that always feels very, very good. Betting is hard. You're kind of expected to lose. So that's why I think the wins feel so great because you're kind of, proving your brilliance, so to speak, your mastery of your domain. So yeah, I definitely love winning a little more than I hate losing.
Now, this might be a Southern thing, but I would love to see it become a tradition across the country. One of the things that people who do the lottery and or do betting, that when they win, they give part of their winnings to somebody else because they believe that if they don't, that shows how selfish they are and it's going to affect their betting in the future.
It's called karma, and I'm a believer in karma. And, if I ever score big with a bet or the lottery, I would like to think that I would not hoard all that money for myself, and I'd be generous with friends and family, those who helped along the way. So I'm with you there. I mean, if I end up winning somehow $1 million on this Super Bowl, of course, Uncle Sam's going to take his share. That's the cold, hard facts of it. But whatever's left over, hopefully I can spread some joy amongst the people that I love.
What's the craziest bet that you've heard of so far? I mean, I realize we're still like 3 days away, but still, there's got to be some craziness going on.
Yeah, I mean, there's always, it's not new, but it is one that I always find really funny to try and handicap, as we say, and that is the color of the Gatorade that is poured on the winning head coach.
Oh, yeah.
Is it going to be orange? Is it going to be red or pink? Is it going to be green? Is it going to be clear water? You can bet on that. You can go to ESPN Bet right now, and you can bet on the color of Gatorade that's dumped on either Kyle Shanahan or Andy Reid, which is, of course, a time-honored tradition for the Super Bowl winning head coach. Right now, the favorite is orange, and that is recent. It was red/pink, like a cherry, watermelon, strawberry type of color. But now orange has become the betting favorite, and that was the color that was dumped on Andy Reid when he beat the 49ers in the Super Bowl a couple of years ago. So maybe that's what some people are recognizing and thinking and why they've been betting that.
One of these years, we've got to get you out into these man caves, and so you can do your show with neighbors and communities and stuff, man. It'd be so fun to watch you do it live, but in a man cave.
Yeah, that would be awesome because live betting is also something you can do. You don't just have to bet before the game starts. Once the game starts, you can bet
That's it.
on how the game is progressing. You can, in the moment, you can look at what's happening and say, oh, man, I'm seeing a pattern here. I want to bet on that. And that is something you can do. And I think that's going to kind of become the future of betting 10, 15, 20, 25 years from now, that the engagement for the fan is sitting there in front of their TV or sitting at their seat in the stadium, and they have their tablet out and they bet that the next play is a pass play. They bet the next play is a run play, or they bet the next play is a touchdown. So that's where I think this shindig is going.
Oh my God, we do that in that cave all the time, dude. We're all sitting there with the notebook or our phones, and we're doing it as the game is going on.
That's the future, man. I think that's the way that people are going to stay engaged with our short attention spans that are only getting shorter with the generations to come. And that is something that is instant gratification and keeps you locked in for the duration of the game.
Wow. Where can people go to find out more about you, to listen to everything you're doing? Because you do a lot, Tyler.
Yeah, on my social accounts, X/Twitter, it's Tyler_Fulghum, Fulghum. On Instagram, where I like to post a lot of food as well as my bets, because I have been a contestant on Guys Grocery Games, not just sports. I'm an assassin in the kitchen as well. It's at Shramwich, SHRAMWICH. And then my day job, I'm the host of ESPN Bet Live, which you can watch Monday through Fridays on ESPN2 at 6 p.m. Eastern. And I will say on Super Bowl Sunday, we have a special hour-long show that's going to lay out all of our bets, how to handicap the Super Bowl, props, parlays, etc. That's 11 a.m. Eastern on ESPN2 Super Bowl Sunday.
I'm gonna place one bet before we go, and that is next year the majority of us are going to be watching that game through those VR goggles. I swear we need to be in that game and experience it, and then have you host it.
I am down for it, man. I definitely see that as part of that future, and when it comes to watching sports and gambling, and I would be thrilled and honored to host an event like that with the Vision Pro goggles watching the big game.
Dude, come back to the show anytime in the future. The door's always going to be open for you.
Thank you, Arrow. I appreciate that. Everyone enjoy the game, and good luck.
You be brilliant, okay?
Will do.